Today on the show, I'm going to take you through a new playlist I just created with all of my top videos from 2024. And I put a few in there that have really low views, but are worth a second look if you miss them. These are ones that contain some pretty important lessons. And so I'm excited to go through the list with you starting right now.
I'm David C. Barnett, and you're tuned in to Small Business and Deal Making, the podcast, YouTube channel, and blog where I talk about buying, selling, financing, and managing small and medium sized businesses while controlling risk. So, if you're looking to take control of your future through buying a business one day, or if you already own a business and you're looking to grow or exit, you've come to the right place. I talk about interesting things, I talk to interesting people, and I answer your questions every week right here. So, be sure to hit like and be sure to hit subscribe, and let's get to it.
Are you a small business owner that's thinking about exiting your business now or in the next few years? My team and I are here to help with our unique zero commission program that we've been using since 2016. We can show you what your business is worth, prepare the package you'll need before you meet your first buyer, even run a confidential online advertising program for you just like business brokers do. And we'll coach you through the whole process, or you can hire us to manage it all for you, including coordinating your whole sell-side deal team. Head over to howtosellmyownbusiness.com to learn about how my team and I can help you get ready by watching a series of videos we prepared that explain each step in detail. And if you're ready or just curious to learn more, reach out to us and we'll get you started or schedule a call to answer your questions. I look forward to meeting you and learning more about your business. Well, happy New Year's, everyone. I'm wearing a sweater today because it's 15 degrees below freezing here. As I record this, we are in the grips of winter, and it's a good day to hide inside. So, what have I got that's new? Let's talk about 2024. First, though, let me remind everyone that we have a whole new program in place for people that join our email subscription list. If you head over to davidcbarnettlist.com, you will begin getting a series of special emails in addition to the daily emails that I send out. These special emails over the course of your first few weeks of membership will deliver 7 amazing free gifts to you just for signing up. There's no cost at all. So if you are interested in learning more about buying, selling, financing, and managing small and medium-sized businesses, you want to work on your deal-making skills, be sure that you are subscribed to my email list. Now, let's take a look at this playlist. So, if you look in the notes down below in YouTube, there will be a link directly to this playlist. Or if you go over to my YouTube channel, there's a tab for playlists, and you'll be able to find this. It should be right at the top. So it's called 2024 David's Best and Underrated Videos. And I just want to take a few minutes to talk about some of the very, very popular videos that were released and give you some reasons why you might want to go and view some of the ones that did not get as many views, comparatively speaking. These are in chronological order, so they're in no particular order as far as what I think that they're the best or the worst or anything like that. Um, the very first one on the list here, profit splits to pay back an investor. This was one that was created early in the year. It was based on a question, and a lot of the time when I talk with people who are looking at getting into business for the first time, there's a great deal of confusion between the roles that people play. And people will often think about a partnership, like they'll think about two people that come together that work in a business all the time and own the business together. And they pay themselves something if once a business becomes profitable. And there's no real delineation between wages or salary and returns as an investor. And if that's the situation that you're in, well, that's going to work just fine because you're both in there to the same degree, right? You're both working in there every day, et cetera, et cetera. It's when people start to look at having investors that are not working in the business that people can sometimes get bogged down by a real confusion over the different roles that people are playing. So while you might be working in the business and an owner of the business, which would entitle you to both wages and profits, in the form of dividends or distributions, your partner may not be working in the business. They might just be an owner. And so in this video, I help to sort of show you how to delineate between these different things. And it's certainly worth checking out, especially if you think that you might ever want to have an investor in your deal. Now, this video was released in January, and that was before I started to work on the new bonus module within Business Buyer Advantage. Uh, Over at Business Buyer Advantage, I just released a couple weeks ago a brand new bonus module, which is all about bringing investors into your deals. So it's a great video to watch if you think that this is the way that you might end up going, whether because you're trying to buy a bigger business than your resources will allow, or your resources aren't very robust, right? The next one here is the $1 million income with only 300,000 down. So this was a great video and it got a lot of views, because, especially I think, it helps to dispel a lot of misunderstanding and mistruths that are spread rampantly through the internet that lure people into this space, into this conversation that we're having. So people get this idea of, oh, small businesses sell for this certain multiple of cash flow. That sounds like a really great rate of return. And then they come in here guns blazing, ready to do their first deal without really understanding how we measure cash flow, profitability, and business valuation in this space. So, especially if you're new to this space, be sure to check that one out. Confidence to buy a business got a lot more views than I thought. And it kind of showed me that, there are a lot of people who are watching this kind of content who are kind of on the sidelines, people who have an aspiration towards business ownership or a dream of business ownership, who are not quite confident to cross that line. And truthfully, this video and the response to it was one of the reasons why I decided to fast track the release of my new book this year, Buying versus Starting a Small Business, because it showed me just how much of an appetite there was from people who want to get into the game, as it were. And with that being said, I would like to make a mention right now of another video series playlist, which was the one I created over the summer, which is the Get Into Business 101 series. And ever since my kids, probably, I don't know, maybe 2019 was the first year I did this. My kids were quite a bit younger, and I knew that with the kids home for the summer, it was going to be hard for me to kind of set aside that time to go and record videos. Like, you know, now that my kids are teenagers, it's easy. They sleep till noon, right? So I can make videos in the morning. But when my kids were younger, I would go into the summer planning the summer, and I would want to make a whole bunch of videos before school break so that I had them all in the can over the course of the summer. And it meant that I wouldn't have to worry about being able to take some quiet time aside to make those videos. And so I started to do these summer series. I think 2022 was the first time I officially called it a summer series. If I'm correct, maybe there was one before that. But this particular summer series, which was all about celebrating the new book, Starting versus Buying a Small Business, um, was pretty successful. And I got a lot of really positive feedback. And if you weren't part of the channel over the course of the summer, or if you missed some of these videos, I would highly recommend you go take a look for this playlist. I'll put a link to it as well in the notes down below. But it is particularly of interest to those people that are thinking about getting into this for the first time. I kind of go step by step through the whole process. And I look at both channels of buying a business versus starting a business, and give you lots of food for thought, hopefully. So let's talk about this. The next one on the list is competing to buy the best businesses. Was really well received, and especially because we still suffered in 2024 a bit of a hangover from the low interest rates back in 2021. Those low interest rates, for the first time ever, allowed people to really bid up the price of small businesses to ridiculous prices. And I am starting to hear from more and more people who bought during that time, who paid those high prices, leveraged themselves to the hilt, and now have been suffering under the greatly increased payments that they have to make, especially where parts of the economy in general, people are talking, have started to slow down. I know the general GDP numbers and all that kind of stuff are still showing that the US economy in particular is strong. Here in Canada, there's more of an awareness or acknowledgement from the central bank that things are not as hot as they thought. Unemployment being a key thing that is growing. And so we've had interest rate cuts here in Canada this year in 2024. US central bank still hasn't done that. Um, the this video that talks about competing to buy the best business talks about all the different ways that you can try to be that strong competitor that gets the best businesses. And I would say that uh, part of the stuff in that video would also relate to the new module in Business Buyer Advantage, because bringing in private investor money under the right terms and conditions can allow you to pay a higher price and not suffer the cash flow consequences. Ultimately, you end up paying more for the business, so there's definitely downsides. But that was a really well received video. This is one of the missed ones. So this video was one of the live streams I did with exit planner Pat Ennis. And in this video, Pat and I described the whole exit planning process and talking about what it means to get your business ready for your departure, and how it's so much more than just talking about selling the business, which is pretty much what I talk about on this channel. I talk about selling businesses. I don't really get into a lot of the times the stuff that goes behind that, and how if you have a truly valuable business over the course of the years, you really should be investing in the years and years of preparation to really make sure that your exit can be as successful as possible. A lot of the people that I've helped over the years, they just decide one day I want to sell my business, and whatever the state of the business is, that's what we deal with. This whole exit planning rabbit hole that you can go down really is an exploration of how you can take the current circumstances, really create some goals around where you want to be, and then like work on the business, just like you might work on restoring a car, work on restoring the business and getting it up to that performance level that will allow for the exit that you desire. Most small business people don't ever want to put in the effort. We explore that in that conversation, and I would highly recommend that you check it out. Um, Unseen liabilities. This is another, one of my sort of warning videos where we talk about some of the problems in a business that are invisible even with an expert examination of the financial statements. And so that was a popular video. I kind of thought it would be. This is some of the sort of insider secret squirrel kind of knowledge that you develop over the course of the years as you see different crazy things. And so, if you want some of the insights into some of the stuff I've learned, be sure you check that one out. Uh, Dealing with business brokers, the reaction, the comments, the private feedback I got on that one surprised me quite a lot. Like it seemed like there was a lot more um, aha moments on people's behalf after watching that video. Um, but I don't think the average person understands just the absolute terrible state of the business brokerage industry. When you talk to people who are in the industry, they all seem to know, uh, unless they're one of the bad ones who don't know what they're doing. But whenever I talk to experienced, seasoned, what I call qualified business brokers, everyone pretty much seems to know just how poor the state of that industry is. And so I talk about it and give you some specific strategies in how to deal with some of these brokers that you may come across who don't know what they're doing. And listen, I have conversations every week about this, so there's definitely some value in there. This next one here is another one of the underrated videos. So marriage and partnership issues in small business. A lot of people looked at this video title, I think, and said, "Oh, my marriage is great," or "I'm not involved in a partnership." But I would challenge you to watch it, because you're going to have some takeaways from this video that could affect you in a lot of other different ways. Like if you have a really important vendor relationship, like if there's a key supplier in your business and that business is a partnership, or that business is another small business, there could be some things that you learn in this video that could really help you become aware of spotting potential hazards and risks in some of these important relationships you have in business. And so I suggest you check it out. This next one was another interview And this is the one where I talked with Gary Weiss, who was the author of the book about Crazy Eddie Akbar. And Crazy Eddie, of course, was a small business owner who did some of the stuff that we talk about on this channel all the time that small business owners do to manage their tax liabilities. The difference with Eddie is that he took it to a whole new level and eventually got his company listed publicly and then compounded one fraud upon another. And what I tried to do in this interview, which I highly recommend you watch, is I related each of Eddie's frauds to stuff that I've seen personally in small business due diligence. Because even though Eddie was a publicly traded company and a lot of what he did was to try to fool auditors and people like that in order to trick stock market investors, um, people can do the same kind of stuff in their small business to try to fool you if you're going to be buying a business. And so we talked a lot about that. Um, in general, the videos, the live stream videos that I do, get lower views on YouTube than the shorter videos, and I think I know why. I think it's because a lot of you also know that you can consume my content through any of the podcasting apps. So I'm sure some of you out there see, maybe see that I've got an hour-long interview with someone. You go, oh, I'm going to listen to that in the car, which is great. But if you miss that one, certainly check it out. It's here on this playlist. Another note about the podcast catchers is that there is additional content on the podcast stream that doesn't appear on the YouTube channel. So sometimes when I appear as a guest on somebody else's podcast, I will get their permission to put that recording onto my audio feed. So there's a whole whack of additional content on the audio feed, which is me appearing on other people's shows, and I do that for a couple of reasons. Usually because we have a really interesting discussion about something that I think might be of interest to all of you. But the other thing too is that I want to introduce all of you to other great shows that exist out there. And in our world, when you go into your podcast player, what are you going to see? You're going to see the highly produced sort of Hollywood version shows that get millions and millions of downloads and all that kind of stuff. The algorithm is going to push that content to you. In that content, the content is the product. And so what does that mean? It means that the people that create that content in order to make a living have to monetize the thing that they have, which is their audience. That's you, right? And so the difference is that there are really great podcasters or YouTube channel hosts that do not have to monetize their audience. So they can just focus on creating good content. Like I just focus on making interesting stuff that educates people. I'm not focused on just whipping up whatever kind of video is going to get a lot of views to please my sponsors, right? That's the difference. So I want to put these other shows on my podcast feed so that you get introduced to other hosts who have the same kind of philosophy, and you might find other programs that you like to listen to, where people are having interesting small business conversations with actionable advice, and people are sharing their real world experience versus making yourself part of an audience to be sold to all the time, right? And I shared on Twitter, um, back in November, I actually shared a screenshot from an email exchange that I had with someone on one of these big programs where they were basically saying, "Oh, we'd love to have you on the show. Here's the fee structure." I don't know if you know, but a lot of these big popular shows, the people who are guests are just paying to be on the show, right? And so it's an infomercial, but they don't disclose that it's an infomercial, which I think is super shady. And I believe it violates a lot of different sort of trade rules. But anyway, um, back to my interview with Gary Weiss. I highly recommend you check it out. The book was amazing, by the way. I listened to the audiobook over the course of several days during my morning walk, and just fascinating. The you know the just the crazy behavior this guy Eddie Akbar undertook, and you realize after a while, wow, this guy could not have seriously thought he was going to get away with this for a long time, and then the whole thing fell apart. It's an amazing story. 10 industry selection criteria. Whoops, didn't mean to click it. Let's get back. Yeah, there we go. So 10 industry selection criteria. This one is one for people that are looking at buying a business. And so a lot of the times I get asked this question, how do I choose the right industry? How do I know what to look for? That's what I talk about in this video. So it's great for people that are new to this space. Uh, the 90 days to a deal express small business acquisition, six key takeaways. So, I am guilty of a little bit of clickbaiting here with this one because I tried to create a video title that would encourage people to click on the video, people that wanted to learn about a fast way of buying a business. And that's really not what this video is about. For those of you who have seen it, um, what I do in this video is I break down an interview on another podcast, which was a young woman named Brittany. Her and her husband bought a business and they did it in a very fast way within 90 days. And then there were a whole pile of issues about the acquisition. And so I go through and I break down the six big things that I took away from it. And Brittany, the young woman who is the subject of the video, she actually replied in the comments down below, where she said that after doing the deal, she realized a lot of these, with the exception of one that was in there too. So it's really a cautionary video that talks about some of the problems that can happen if you are rushing. And why is this an important video? Um, Over the years that I have been in this business, I have found that there are people who get excited about buying a business and then they fall into the plan as set up by brokers and sellers. So what does that mean? Well, they go out, they find a business listed, they talk with the broker, they get the sim, they ask all kinds of questions to the broker about how do I buy a business, and the broker tells them, and then they get lined up with a lender, and then everybody's checking their boxes, and basically you as a buyer, you end up running this gauntlet of their program for you, where everything lines up just perfectly for all of them. You know, the lenders get their origination fees, the seller gets their big check, the broker gets their check. Like everybody wins or gets what they want, um, but maybe not the buyer, right? So please check out this video if you are planning to buy a business. There's all kinds of cautionary warnings in there for you. Um, this was a pretty recent video that did very well. How much money do I need to buy a business? This was inspired by like dozens and dozens of people over the course of time asking me this question in one-on-one consulting calls. So I decided to make a video about it. And it is for Main Street businesses. The what I describe in there doesn't really apply when you start to move up into the lower mid market and mid market, but for Main Street businesses, it's pretty sound. And there's a very big difference between the U.S. and the rest of the countries because of the way SBA financing works. And then this last one down here, number 13, this is a very recent video from December. And me and my team have been playing around with thumbnails, right? And so you can see here on this how much money. I'm not on that thumbnail. It's a clip art, or sorry, a stock image guy. And so this landlord one, we created another stock image video, and I think a lot of you just missed it. And so we changed the thumbnail. We went back to the traditional one with me and the title in big words. But bar none, the biggest single reason why acquisition deals get derailed, and whether you're a business owner thinking of selling one day or you're a buyer that's going to buy a business, um, the landlord is going to be one of the things that can easily derail your deal. And so at the time of recording this video only has a couple hundred views, and really it should be up, uh, you know, in the leagues of some of these other popular videos in the thousands of views. So if you missed this one, be sure you check it out. Um, yeah, and so like I don't know if you've taken some time ever to look through the playlists on my channel, but we do have a lot of great playlists. Some of them are huge with lots of videos. Some of them are very concise. With respect to the uh, uh, this one here, sorry, uh, um, Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, hope you're having a great new year. And don't forget, if you haven't already, sign up for my email list because I am giving away the 7 free gifts that that you get when you're a new subscriber on a special series of emails that comes out over the first few weeks. And with that, I'll say thank you very much for being part of the audience. I hope that 2025 is going to bring you a lot of luck and help you achieve your goals. I've got a whole bunch of great videos planned already that are going to start coming out here in the next few weeks. And I'll see you every Wednesday morning. And I've got a whole bunch of great live stream guests lined up too. So I look forward to creating more amazing content to help you learn. And as always, check out my blog site, learn about my online courses. If you're thinking about buying a business one day, head over to businessbuyeradvantage.com. If you own a small business and you want to learn more about how you can sell that business or how you can sell it with my help with my zero commission program that I've been using with clients since 2016, head over to howtosellmyownbusiness.com. And with that, I'll say thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
So, how can you learn more about buying, selling, financing, and managing small and medium sized businesses? Easy. Go over to my blog site, davidcbarnett.com, where you can learn more about me and how I work with my clients. You can learn more about my books and courses that I've prepared for you. You can find out how to subscribe to my email list, the YouTube playlists, and more. There's literally hundreds of hours of content there, all for free, and I'd love for you to be my guest. Special thanks go to Mark Willis at Lake Growth Financial, today's video sponsor. Mark helps people better manage their personal and business finances through the Bank on Yourself insurance strategy. This is something I've done personally and I've seen others use it successfully for years. Go to newbankingsolution.com to find all the interviews I've done with Mark and learn more about the advantages of these programs. While there, sign up for a free consultation to learn what this solution might look like for you.